Alright guys, what's up? Jared here, Dex and Dice, with a weekly, like video gripe session, whatever you want to call it. Uh, First of all, big shout out to everyone who showed up last night for the Drink and Jank Halloween thing. Um, Really cool of you all to show up, hang out, enjoy some adult beverages while you enjoy your games and all sorts of other stuff. The costume contest was kind of fun. Didn't really make a big deal out of it, but we had some people dress up and we had people put in tickets in a little box and stuff. So whoever got the most tickets won. Um, Oddly enough, the Gengar, whatever Pokemon that is, Ramsey won because he was dressed up as that. So that was kind of cool. He got himself a cheap little Gundam model as a prize for that. So that was pretty cool. But anyways, I guess on with the video, and you'll have to. Main Street is out that way. For some reason, it's really busy right now, and that's highly unusual, but it is what it is. So, let's talk about magic. Imagine that. I know everyone's probably tired of me bitching about it, or even talking about it, but it's the elephant in the room, biggest game out there. Despite what everyone wants to focus on and all that good stuff, it is what it is, as I have said previously. Um, the thing I want to touch on with this magic stuff is the Universes Beyond sets. The play boosters, obviously, because one of my distros finally had them up for pre-order, so I kind of have an idea of how much it's going to run on our end. And honestly, the water cooler talk wasn't too far off from the original price point. So, and then I'd like to kind of throw out there what I think Wizards might need to just ultimately go ahead and do to Magic. I mean, it's my opinion. It's not a very popular opinion, but coming from a guy who started in like 93, like late 93, early 94, and then I phased out like 99-ish, 2000, mainly because my entire collection got stolen, and that was a shit ton of cards and a lot of money that was just gone in an instant. So yeah, that kind of put a damper. Anyways, let's carry on. So let's go with the Universes Beyond, especially this Marvel thing that just came out. I don't think it's actually going to go into production until 2025, late 2024, somewhere in that area. Uh, I mean, we had to see this coming. Both of those IPs, like Magic and Marvel, are kind of tanking. Like, the MCU is shit right now. Everyone seems to have, like, superhero fatigue, kind of like everyone has wallet fatigue with Magic products. They're just finally combining forces and seeing what'll happen. I know that this has been something in the works for a few years, or supposedly has been. They just recently came to terms with each other, which again I'm sure is because both of them are struggling for actual money right now, and they just saw a win-win scenario for both of them. So yeah, and I know for those of you who are like, well, Hasbro just came out with the quarterlies and they did really well. Not. I mean, yeah, but no. Um, the biggest thing that saved that shit was, I believe, Lord of the Rings. A Universes Beyond thing that's gonna be an evergreen product, but I'm pretty sure everyone is pretty in agreement with Lord of the Rings is what saved the quarterly earnings call for Hasbro. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Um, Again, could have seen that one coming. It's Lord of the Rings. It's a huge IP. But anyways, so I'm not really sure how I feel about Marvel and Magic crossing, because it's going to be multiple sets. It's going to be what they call a tentpole product For those of you who aren't very familiar with that term, it has a couple of meanings, but the main one that they used it as is that it's gonna be a supporting like product, um, and they're gonna like lean on it heavy, like super heavy. So get prepared to probably every quarter or so have at least one big Marvel Universes Beyond release, if not some kind of like supplemental commander decks or whatever. I mean, they'll milk it for what it's worth. That's what they're good at. But just expect to be tired of being bombarded with Marvel Universes Beyond products when it finally comes out. I'm just going to throw that one out there as it is because it's going to be a thing. I also keep hearing stuff about, well, Universes Beyond brings new players, and you might be right. To an extent, you might be right. Uh, what I noticed around here with like the Doctor Who, just because it was the most recent, and the 40k ones were there was already so much overlap with player base anyways. You had most people buying those products because they were already fans of it and they already played Magic. A handful of people, yes, bought the product because it was 40k or it was Doctor Who. That was pretty much the vast majority of it. Was they liked the IP, didn't really give a shit about Magic, they just liked the IP, so they bought it. There was a really small amount that actually became new players because of the Universes Beyond. Um, Again, that's just in my little area around here. Demographics vary. I mean, if you live in a larger city, the small little bit I saw around here convert to players would end up being a bit more, but I think on the grand scale of things, still a small amount. Because, and this changed and I didn't even notice it really, but the new like time frame for the lifespan of a Magic the Gathering player is no longer like 3 years. It's 6 months to 24 months. Where before it was like 2 years at the like low end of the spectrum, 3 years was like the average. Pretty much everyone was a 2 to 3 year thing. Now it's 6 months to 2 years. So I don't really I don't really see Universes Beyond giving Magic that shot in the arm that it kind of desperately needs. Because how often can you continue to go back to the same planes? Like I've said before in other videos, you can't keep going back to the same planes. You can't just keep remastering shit and shoving it out there. Not only are you killing the secondary market value of the cards that you're reprinting, but we've already seen it. We've been there, we've done that. Like, thanks for giving us reprints. I mean that's cool and all from like a player perspective, but at the same time, do something new. Bring in some other new plane. Like, I mean, we're going back to Ixalan next month. Yeah, because it's still the 29th. Yeah, next month on the 17th, we're going back to Ixalan. Yay! I mean, it's it's cool at like face value. I mean, dinosaurs and so forth, but at the same time, we're going back to a place we've already been again. And then what is it, like January, February, or whenever the hell they're doing Ravnica block remastered? Thanks for reprinting the Shocklands and all that crap, but we've already been there, so why? Because they're running out of ideas. That's why. They're running out of originality. They're just. WotC is running out of just crap to actually do with Magic. They're so concerned with. And I'm probably going to get some, like, pushback with this, but they're so concerned with, like, offending anyone and everything that they're too scared to just venture off and do something new. They're doing all these like safe things, like okay, like 40k. if you know a bit about the lore and all that good stuff, it's really not a safe space. But they didn't really delve that much into the lore either. Like, I mean, Doctor Who's pretty safe. Um, like The Walking Dead from way back in the day when they did like a well, that was a secret layer. That wasn't Universes Beyond. So we'll shelve that one. But anyways, they seemingly are just doing safe IPs for the Universes Beyond stuff. Um, and that kind of has to make you wonder too. Like they're stagnant, for lack of a better term. They're stagnant. There's no one's really wanting to put forth the effort to do anything new and exciting, and it's honestly it's probably not like the R&D employees themselves. It's probably the CEOs and all that up at the top who are like, let's just do the safe bet and just keep milking this cow for what it's worth. And that's eventually going to stop. The cow can't keep giving milk. So, my personal unpopular opinion on how they could possibly fix that would be to, again, not a popular opinion, but do a whole fucking reset of the game itself. Like, I don't know, maybe second quarter of next year or something, they just restart everything. Because there's a lot of crap going on in the set and in the game in general now. There's like just the playability of everything. There's 3,600 different triggers going on during your upkeep, your end phase, your combat, or whatever. Every fucking thing seems to do something special that just prolongs the turn or adds some kind of menial bullshit to the turn. Or there's just these stupid little, like, just things that happen during the game to where if you're playing a game of Commander, which is like the most popular format, because I've done this a few times, in my turn, go to the bathroom, go get something to drink, walk around, talk to people in the shop, literally be gone for 6, 7 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and it's not even my turn yet. It might be like next to being my turn, but there's just so much crap going on with everything at every step of the game that a lot of people are kind of getting worn out on it. I mean, do you really want to sit there and keep track of generating +1/+1 tokens on everything you have, pooping out treasure tokens every beginning of your combat, instep, upkeep, whatever, poison counters, I don't know, shield counters, like stuff like that, just counters in general. There's so much crap going on now that it's convoluted and overly complicated without it actually being complicated. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I think that's a big deterrent for new players, and I think that might be kind of harkening back to the lifespan of a new player, why it's so short now. It's daunting, man. Like it really is. It's daunting if you're having to sit there through someone else's turn, and they're throwing out 30 counters on shit, and they're having to read almost every individual card because it does something different during X phase or whatever. You might as well just go take a nap. Like, would you want to sit there and go through all that shit every game that you play? Or at least 90% of every game that you play? No, you wouldn't. Especially as a new player. Like, you get in like, yay, it's magic! And you start like, okay, this is cool, I'm gonna cast spells and do all this, and then you realize that it's a pain in the ass to keep up with your own triggers, and then you got to worry about keeping up with everyone else's stuff because that affects your board as well. So it's just a complete and total, like, it's overwhelming, I guess, is where I'm going with that. And for veterans of the game and all that, it's just kind of become second nature. But you have to admit that it's reached a point to where it's kind of a pain in the ass to even play, just because of all the triggers and abilities, and power creep is like the elephant in the room. It's disgusting, for lack of a better term. Power creep is disgusting, and it's totally real. But yeah, so long story short, well, not really long story short because I rambled, but I think that WotC and Hasbro would do great to just do a reset, a total reset of the game itself. Like, say everything prior to X date, whenever they do the reset, is considered legacy or vintage now, and that's that. And then they start over with, I guess they could call it standard because it would just be the new sets, and that would be it. Like, that would be the standard of Magic then, would be those one or two sets that they release at the get-go of the reset and then carry on. So, yeah. And honestly, I would back that 100% just because it would hopefully simplify crap again to where, like, I don't know, you actually had fun playing the game and it wasn't you just having to worry about carrying like 80,000 dice with you to keep track of triggers. But yeah, so anywho, I'll stop beating that horse for right now and let's move on to the play boosters. So, like I said, one of my distros finally threw up the play boosters for pre-order. And on our end, like I said in the other video, it is pretty much close to that 120 mark. You know, varying distributors are probably going to have varying prices, and if you order more, you'll save like $1 or something per box. It's pretty crappy, honestly. Because you'll even max out. Like if you order, I don't know, 60 cases or something, you'll still max out at like maybe $2, 250 saved per box or whatever, maybe three. Just depends on distributor and so forth and so forth. Um, I mean, over those 60 boxes, that's a lot, but realistically, yay. But anyways, so it's about 120 a box on our end. So for us to even make like the usual 30% markup that we try to get out of products, you're looking at, like I said before in other videos, like that 150 mark, just for a play booster. I don't know how most of you really feel about that because that's I guess wherever you're located anyways, it's like a 10 to a $20 upcharge for a box. Like if you're just buying set boosters or whatever, I know some places already had them for like 140, so it wouldn't be such a price increase for you just to be able to buy like one box at 150 and it's done. So that's kind of, I understand that, but most places usually sold their set boxes for like that 120, 130 mark. So it's going to be a $20 to $30 increase on y'all's end just to be able to play the game. So yeah, if you're cool with dropping like 150 per box, give or take $5, just really depends. Um, then I mean that's cool, but I think that's going to scare a lot of people away, especially for buying new product. And I get it, that's a lot to drop on a box for not even really knowing what the ROI may or may not be on said box, which is why you're not going to see a bunch of mass box openings on the LGS scale. Like I've said before in other videos, these things are just going to be, it's volatile, just like it is now for us to crack open boxes, not guaranteed to make back that $100 for the said box or whatever, especially with the way things are. Like, hell, the other day I thought about cracking open a box of Modern Horizons 2 just for singles for the shop, but I was like, you know what? Most fetches are like $20 a piece now, give or take. You might get 2, 3 fetches a box, sometimes just one. So I went through and started just looking at what the prices were right then and there for some of the stuff, and dude, no. No way in hell I was going to crack open an MH2 box to maybe sell the big hits out of it and make $100, give or take. when the box itself ran me, I think the set boxes are 175-ish to 180, depending on where you get it, like distributor wise. So, yeah, no, there would just be no reason, and you're not ever going to sell an entire box. You're not going to sell every mythic, every rare, every uncommon, or every common. You're just not. So there's no way in hell, unless you pull straight fire out of one of those boxes, that you're going to make your money back on our end. So it's even worse on the customer side if you actually buy that shit too at the, well, I don't even know what they're going for right now. I forgot to look at that, but anywho, um, it's it's not going to be a fun time that first little bit. Uh, I'm pretty certain for the singles and all that good stuff, it's going to be difficult to come by. I don't want to say impossible, but I think it's going to be like difficult. And for that, you'll see the prices of the singles just go up, like I said before, because you're not going to have people cracking open the new product. I think that 150 price point is going to scare a lot of people away from buying new products. So not only are stores going to be hesitant to open it, you guys are going to be very hesitant to buy it and open it. So I don't think we're going to see a bunch of singles floating around once this play booster stuff starts. It might level off or whatever, but I highly doubt it. It just, the outlook is not positive overall for that. Yes, you only have one box to keep track of now. Well, two if you want to count the collector's boxes. While that's easy and simplified, the price point, man. And like Commander Masters showed us that too. While Commander Masters was heavily overpriced, this is still no bueno for everyone involved. And if it tanks, it'll take Wizards a while to even retrace their steps on that, because they print shit like a year or two ahead of time anyways. So I'm really, I kind of want to see what the hell happens. I could be completely wrong, which is a possibility. I mean, I'd like to be wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be 100% wrong. So yeah, um, as that's just what I got on the Play Boosters thing now, since I've seen a pre-order price on our end, and like I said, it's the 120-ish mark with a 30% markup that we usually try to make. It's going to be 150, 152, 145 on the low end. It's really just going to vary. But yeah, that's going to be your barrier. That's going to be your entry point to Magic now. If you want to buy anything new, is you might as well say 150, even if you get the box for 145 because of tax and shit. So 150 is going to be your barrier to entry to get anything new with Magic. So, and yeah, again, like I said in the other videos, I hear you just buy the singles, but you're fucking yourself in the end because there's not going to be that many singles out there. Supply and demand is going to outweigh it, and you're going to end up spending 10, 15, 20% more than what you usually would, depending on the card and all that, demand, blah, blah, blah. But you're just by the singles is going to end up fucking you. And I'm sorry, not sorry. Like, most of us LGSs, we're not going to take the risk to bust open everything in the hopes of selling the boxes. You guys probably aren't going to buy a box in the hopes of trying to make your money back by trading or selling online or whatever. So, yeah, enjoy that one. And so I guess last but not least would be just a little like Dungeons and Dragons info. Apparently, I've been kind of sporadically checking on this, but I guess Dungeons and Dragons is kind of more or less suffering the same thing that Wizards is, with just the reprinting of stuff, going back to certain things, like the deck of many things or whatever that's coming out sometime soon. I can't remember the date, but it's just kind of a reprint of something older. I mean, it needed to be done. The cards are going to be updated and blah blah blah. It's just why. You know, hey, it's a tried and true thing. They're gonna sell shit, so I know why people are gonna buy it. It's just gonna be a thing. But like, did it really need to be a thing? I guess yeah, just to update the cards, but it's not like you couldn't have just used the old shit and maybe did some modifications, some homebrewed shit, because that's the great thing about just tabletop RPGs in general. Most rule books are just guidelines. You can do whatever the hell you want to. So, there's that. And I guess, like, what, the reprinting of the uh, Planescape that they just did. I mean, that wasn't that great when it first launched, so I guess maybe they were just trying to bring it back to life, which I've sold most of the ones that I bought, so I guess it was needed and wanted, so I can't really complain there, but I don't think that's going to be like a standard if they keep kind of revisiting things. Um, I know that there's the new influx of D&D players and everything because of Stranger Things and D&D kind of going mainstream. So they're going to ride that wave of reprinting or rebranding or whatever, remastering, whatever you want to call it, the old shit for the new people that just came in, which is cool, I suppose, from like a jumping in aspect. But if you've already been playing for years, you're just like, okay, thanks. Um, so yeah, I guess that's really about all I got. Uh, just the weekly Sunday BS rambling video. Um, tomorrow tomorrow we will be doing Cards After Dark again. Um, it'll be probably Commander again for the first game or two, and then if the minions want to do universes, go for it. If they want to do Digimon, go for it. Whatever, don't really care. I just it's just kind of fun to do. So we'll just continue doing that for shits and giggles. And if the channel takes off while that happens or whatever, great. If not, then I really think we're just going to continue doing it just because it's fun. So yeah, um, I can't really think of anything else to whine, bitch, and complain about. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, or well, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll link in the other socials we have. Follow us on the other socials like Facebook, Instagram. We just got a TikTok, so that's a work in progress. We're on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. So wherever you like to get your stuff, just follow us on there, and we try to stay up to date on all that. Discord link will be in the comments as well, so feel free to join the Discord. Probably Discord is the easiest, efficient way to keep up with us and get in contact, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, you guys have a good Sunday. I will talk with you guys next week, or maybe randomly throughout the week. I don't know. Let me know if you want more random BS videos like this throughout the week. And yeah, you guys take it easy and be safe out there.